Good morning, professionals, and welcome to cost accounting class. Ultimately, today will be our first class for cost accounting. And what are we going to learn today for the purpose of our examination? We shall actually be looking at the nature and purpose of cost accounting, in which I sum up to be introduction to cost accounting. At the end of today's class, I want each and everyone to be able to define what a cost, what an accounting, and the combination of the two, cost accounting, is. Likewise, to be able to differentiate between the types of costs that we have and also understand the specific purpose of establishing a cost accounting system in an organization. Likewise, we'll be able to enumerate the relationship between cost accounting, the managerial process of planning, controlling, and decision, and also understanding the cost terms as related to our examination and as used in organization. What are we waiting for? Let's get started. When we say cost, what do we actually call cost? Each and every one of us has been hearing cost. If you want to buy an item, let's say you want to buy something, let me use a layman language for you to understand better. If you want to buy something now, let's take for instance, you want to buy, okay, let me say you want to buy a bread. You will ask the bread seller, what is the cost of your bread? That cost, what is it? You should know that that cost that you are asking for, it is a price of an item that you are ready to exchange your money for. Is that not so? If it is so, let's say cost is actually the amount of resources that is given up in exchange for some goods or services. What you exchange your resources for in order for you to have that item is called what? Cost. Another good sample of cost, if you are going from a place to another, you will ask for the cost of the transportation. That is, how much will you be paying to the driver, to the bus conductor that is going to convey you from your place to that place that you are going? That is a cost. You are giving up something because someone is offering you what is services. For you to be able to attain your career advancement, you are paying to ICAN. That thing you are paying to ICAN is measured by what? Per paper. And that is why you will be asking, how much is per paper if I'm paying for exam? That is a cost. So you can also say a cost is a unit of item, is the price of a unit of an item. A price of a unit of what? Item. That is the word cost. That is, what am I given in exchange for that thing that I want to achieve? But that thing you want to achieve can either be goods or what? Services. It's either somebody is giving you goods in exchange or is rendering you services in exchange. That is what we call cost. But do you know that we have a standard definition for cost when it comes to cost accounting? Because everything in accounting have a body that actually regulated it. Just as we have IFRS, as we know, which is the body that actually regulates the accounting standard in Nigeria and throughout the world. Likewise, we have CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. CIMA are actually the body that regulates, or let me say, they are the body they are the body of the cost accountants, just as we have ICAN. CIMA are the body of cost accountants. And CIMA that are the body of cost accountants, they have a standardized rule, a standard rules of definition for each of their items. How did CIMA define cost? According to CIMA, cost is an amount of expenditure, actual or notional, that is incurred or attributable to a specified product. Sorry, let's underline some key things. Cost is the amount of what? Expenditure. When we say amount of expenditure, that is the price of expenses. What is expenses? That thing you are buying. 1 unit of it, the price of it is what we call what? Cost. That's why we call it amount of expenditure. Actual, whether it is measured in real or notional, or it is measured in units, that is spent or which can be spent on a specified thing or activities. That is how CIMA has actually defined cost. So if I ask you, what is cost? What is cost? What is cost? You can define as CIMA, but before you even define according to CIMA, you must also be able to give an expansion. That is, you will explain further on what the cost is. To pass an ICAN is very much easy, but you should be able to explain further. If ICAN tells you that 2 marks, that 2 marks is not just you giving them 1, 2 lines items. You have to explain further. Cost is a unit of an item that is given in exchange for goods or services. It is the price that we paid for an activities or over a commodity. According to CIMA, cost is amount of expenditure, notional or actual, incurred or attributable to a specified activities. Then your math is confirmed. You are referencing CIMA because they are the body of cost accountants. You can also say cost is the total amount of items that is incurred or yet to be incurred in the cost of manufacturing a product or rendering a services. Because cost accounting actually deals with production. Cost accounting tends to look at how much are you spending for each unit of item you are adding into your product line or into your production. And when we get to the difference between cost accounting and financial accounting, we are going to expatiate more on that. For us to know that cost accounting and financial accounting are different, even though they are similar. They have a large difference between them. Without waste of our time, we have looked at cost and we have known what the cost is. That the cost is the total amount of resources that we actually sacrifice or that is being forgone because we want to achieve objective. You sacrifice your resources, the amount of the resources that you forgone just for you to achieve your objective is what we call cost. If that is cost, then what is accounting? Before we now combine, remember, what we are doing is cost. We have defined cost. Now let us define accounting before we now combine the two and have the definition of cost accounting. As we all know, that account is a systematic recording of our daily transaction in the appropriate book of accounts. Let me put it that way. I don't want to go to account can be defined as the process of summarizing, analyzing, interpreting, recording, analyzing, and matching the principle in a whole and in aggregate. I don't want to go that. Let us simplify everything. That's why I said account is the systematic way of recording our daily transactions in the appropriate book. You might say I've defined bookkeeping. Keep it so. Let's combine. What do we call cost accounting? As we know, we already said accounting is the process of identifying, measuring, communicating the information to the users in order for them to make informed decision. So cost accounting can then be summed up to be the collection, accumulation, classification, analyzing, interpreting the cost information of a business entity, which will aid the management in what? Planning, controlling, and decision making. Cost accounting is the process, because accounting is a process of what? Recording, communicating. Whatever you record, what are you recording? You are recording the daily transaction of a business. You are recording the daily activities of a company. Having recorded the daily activities of the company, you will then communicate to the users of such information. When you are communicating, your communication should be what? It should be in a well summarized form, in which you would have already analyzed and interpret the financial information. But here, it's no longer a financial information. It is now a what? It is a cost information. Here, it is cost information that you are summarizing. You summarize the cost information of a business so that the management could make informed decision making. What are the informed decision making? The decision making of the management would include what? Planning and controlling. They will plan, they will control, and in that planning and the controlling would aid their what? Decision. That is cost accounting. Having said that, CIMA also defined cost accounting. And according to CIMA said cost accounting is the establishment of budget, standard, actual cost of operations, processes, activities of products, and the analysis or the social use accounting is the established. To set it according to the what? Standard cost. A budget is set in a predetermined cost. What do you call predetermined cost? Let's say as at the month of January, we are in the month of January now. For those of us that are still in school, we are in our resumption period, while some people are yet to resume. You would have already been planning when we resume. I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. Oh, I need approximately 10,000 naira when I'm going to school. No, 10,000 naira will be too small for me. I need like 20,000 naira minimum when I'm going to school. That is what planning. How much do you say you need? Let's take for instance, you said you need 20,000 naira to buy your food item, which include rice, beans, all those students' food. You are budgeting. That's what you call budget. This 20,000 naira, we call it a standard cost because you predicted the cost that you needed. When you predetermine, when you propose, it is called what? Standard cost. As at the end of the day, let's say we are now resuming in January 17. Your resumption is January 17. On getting to the market today, you now see that by the time you buy your rice, you buy your beans, you buy everything, it's now become what? 25,000. You see, you budgeted 20,000 standard cost, but the actual is now what? 25,000 naira. That is the purpose of what? Budgeting. That is why they defined your cost accounting as the establishment of budget. Actual and what? Standard. The actual and the standard cost of operation, the processes. Oh, after buying it, before I go to school, when I get to school, I'm going to my hostel. From my hostel, I'm going to prepare my bed. I won't prepare my bed, and then I'm going to use my 1 week to first of all be going to the class from 8 a.m. Check if the timetable is on. What are you doing? You are predicting your processes. By the time your prediction turns to your actual, you now look at what we call the variance analysis that occurred therein. Oh, is my actual as predicted? What actually occurred? Is it as I planned? If something changes, is there a difference? That's what we call variance. Your variance will either give you profit, or will give you what? Or will result to a negative. And everything will be what? The use of fund. Where money is not involved, your cost accounting is not perfect. That's why they said is the establishment of budgets. The budget can be standard and the actual cost of the operation or the processes of a business and the analysis of the variances therein in order to determine the profitability of the company and for the use of funds. I hope that is clear. I will say that if I ask majority that what is the purpose, yes, let me quickly tell us that cost accounting is another name for management accounting. In case you are asked, cost accounting is also the same thing as management accounting, because all what cost accounting is doing is to inform the management about the cost that they are incurring and how to take a precautionary motive and to enable them to plan, control, and take quick decision. Everything about cost accounting is all about management. Take note of that. And cost accounting look at the unit price of each item or event or activities. It does not usually sum everything up. Even before it sums everything up, it will look at how much units at what price has gone to these activities or events. Always have that at the back of your mind, please. And the purpose of cost accounting is actually to assist the management in running the business in a way that will improve the performance of the business. I think I've already mentioned that. I will say that. Let's quickly go to the objective of cost accounting. What are the aims? Why the need for cost accounting? Why are we even studying cost accounting? We are already aware of financial accounting. Then, is accounting not accounting? Why do we still have to do cost accounting? The reason for the cost accounting cannot be overemphasized. And they include one, like we said, to ascertain the cost of an item. Why are we ascertaining the cost? Is to facilitate the pricing. If they tell you that the cost of an item, let me say, you want to buy, oh, I've used bread earlier. What other commodity? Okay, you want to buy calculator. And you want to price Casio 990 MX. You go to a bookshop, they tell you that Casio is 900, is 1,000, sorry, it's 3,000. And you're like, but it is 2,500. What are you doing? You are pricing. You are trying to see if you could reduce the cost of that calculator. You are actually seeing if you can reduce the cost of that item. And that is one of the main purposes of cost accounting, cost reduction, reducing the cost or the price of an item. Another one is to provide information for the management. The purpose of cost accounting is actually to assist the management in making an informed decision making so that it will enable them to plan, to control, and to take adequate decision. Also to determine the actual selling price of an item Most of the cost accounting, like we said earlier, is used in the production processes. It is used in an organization that engage in manufacturing products. Obviously, we have done in our schools, even in our secondary schools, we have done departmental accounting, we have done departmental accounting, we have done manufacturing accounting. Here we have direct cost of item, indirect cost, factory overhead, prime cost, like that. And we all know how these costs are used. But here we are going to expatiate more on that. Every other one is still the same thing. Cost accounting is used for planning. Cost accounting is used for controlling. Cost accounting assists the management in making decisions. Cost accounting is used to control cost. Cost accounting is used for cost reduction. Cost accounting is used to determine the value of inventory. Cost accounting is used to compare the actual cost with the budgeted cost. Cost accounting is used for profitability purposes. Cost accounting is used for actual selling price of an item. Cost accounting is used to ascertain the revenue that will be the revenue of a company, and it is also used to determine the profitability of an item. So it is enormous. Just pick one that you like, okay? Every other one are for you. But for the importance of our class, it is also important for us to know that as we have cost accounting, we also have cost accounting information. And when we say cost accounting information is just the information that the management actually needs, financial and non-financial, in order to assist them to make informed decisions. You will see that we are saying inform. What is informed? Informed is the data you are given. You are using it appropriately. You are using it adequately. And for a good accounting system to be relevant, it must, or for a good information system, it must have some characteristics in which I have actually called accurate. It must have what you called accurate. It is the accurate that I have used for you as the importance of a good cost accounting system. And these are what I have already listed here. Okay. The first one is A. A is accurate. Don't mind my accurate. The accurate that I've written out is an acronym. It's just what I've written out for you so that you'll be able to remember some advantages or the purpose of good cost system. In fact, if they ask you what are the importance of, or what are the qualities of good information system, or what are the qualities of good accounting system, just say accurate. But this accurate is acronyms. When we say acronyms, A stands for something, C stands for something, C stands for something, like that. The first A, this is the first A. This is the first A, accurate. One of the quality of a good information or the quality of good accounting system is that the information must be accurate. Accurate means it must be correct. C stands for what? Complete. It must be complete. It must not be too much. It must not be less. That's what we call complete. Remember, when you're talking to someone, you say, oh, this thing is complete and accurate. Complete means when it is not too much, it is not in excess. Accurate means it is perfect. It does not short any information. Everything is valid. The second C is cost effective. Every good information or a good cost system must be cost effective. And what do we call cost effective? When you spend less, you should be able to make a savings. We are giving you an allowance from home. allowance of 10,000 naira every month. Does that mean that you should embezzle the whole 10,000 naira? You should spend the whole 10,000 naira? You should be able to make some savings. And you should be able to even multiply that 10,000 naira in a legal way. You stand for what? Understandable. A good accounting system or a good information must be what? Understandable. It must not be too rigid for people. Whoever that wants to use it must be able to understand the information. They should be able to understand the data. They should be able to understand the information that has already been given. If you are given an information about a product, it must be well understandable. If you are given a data information, they have to understand it. Then we say, oh, this information is perfect. And it must be relevant. Any information or any cost accounting system must be what? Relevant. Information that are not relevant for your decision, we don't use it. And during the course of our class, we will get there. Information that are not relevant. In fact, if a cost is not relevant to your decision, you don't use it. We have to look at which information is relevant, which one is not relevant. Another one is it must be accessible. That is, a good information system should be able to be communicated to every, must be accessed by people. Part of ATSWA ICAN exam, you all can give me because ICAN already published it and they also put it in their website. And ICAN IoT also put it there for you. Many people, how can I access your video? How can I access this? We give you the information. Then everybody have access to it. That's what we call accessible. You can print and you can also read it electronically. Likewise, information must have a time span. It will have a deadline, it will have a date, it will have a time. Then everything that you are doing must be easy to use. If you look at all what I've underlined, that is what makes your words accurate. Accurate, A is for accurate, C is for completeness. The second C is so having said that, let's quickly look at the difference between yeah, like that. But what are the difference between cost accounting and financial accounting? Actually, like I said earlier, that cost accounting and management accounting are the same. There's no difference between cost accounting and are not the same. They are not the same. Cost accounting is concerned with the preparation and presentation of accounting information to management in order to help them to plan, to control, and make decisions about a business. While financial accounting is the preparation and presentation of accounting information on the performance and the position of a business. Now, let us look at the differences that occur. Some of the differences that occur there is how the information is being used. For a cost accounting, their information is for internal use, that is for manager, for employee, while for financial accounting is for the external use, those who do not directly engage in the activities of the company, such as the shareholders, the creditors, the bank, the government, the lenders. But for cost accounting is for those that are inside the company, such as the manager, the employees. Another one that you can see, accounting, enrolling and decision making, three key things that I've been mentioning. Why the for financial accounting, that one is just to record the financial position. Of an organization. Another one is the basis on the estimate is on actual, it's never given in estimate. If you are preparing the financial information of a company, they would have already given you the actual data. That's how you will see. ICAN online financial information, statement of financial information. Or they will give you ICAN online tribal 2020. Whereas cost accounting will give you the data of accounting, the data, the following are the data of ICAN online. Another one is the legal requirement. Cost accounting is not regulated by any law, whereas financial accounting is mostly regulated by either IFRS or any other statutory requirement. Every other one, just let us go through it because we have a lot of business to do. I will say that. Quickly permits me to take us to the level of decision making in an organization. We are already aware that cost accounting has to do with information of with decision making of an organization. What are the levels of decision making that we have? This they can tell you what are the three types of decision making in an organization, or what are the levels of management in an organization, or what are the decision making, or who are the decision makers of an organization. Basically, we have three levels or three types or three management position in an organization. The first one is strategic, the second one is tactical, and the third one is operational. When we say strategic, These are the boss of the bosses. They include those that do not directly involve do not directly involve in the running of the company, whereas they are the one that make the decision for others to follow. They are the one that decide the objective of the company, and they are the one that approve the long-term plans of that company. Whereas when they make the decision, they will communicate it to the what? Tactical management. We call them top level management. The top level management or top level manager include those that are CEO, board of directors, head of unit, group heads, division heads, head of human resource management. They are the one that makes decision. They plan on the objective of the company. They forecast the process of the company and communicate it to the tactical management. The tactical management are called middle level management. This middle level management includes the middle level managers, such as branch head, supervisors, managers, like that. And what did they do? They are the one that actually control the organization. They control the process of the organizations. And they are the one that involves in the budget control. They now communicate it to the operation management. So the operation management are called, this one is top level, this one is middle level, this one are the what? Lower level management. And they are the one that involved in the management of that organization. They are the one that involves in the production process. They are the one that involves in the operation process. That's why we call them operational management. If you go to any company, they are the supervisors you will see that will be working with the subordinate. They are the management, they are the manager you will see that they are overseeing the operations of that companies. If you go to bank, everybody you see in that, those people that we, those supervisors, those managers that we see in that bank are called operational management. Tactical management also involved in the bank, but they always have a special office. If you go to a production process, those managers that we see that will be sitting in the office and they'll be telling you, how many quantities have you produced today? Have you done this? Have you done that? Accountants, they are also part of the what? Operational management. Those are the levels of management that we have. Don't forget that I said the cost accounting system is usually for planning, control, and decision making. When we say planning, planning is actually the process of setting a goals, setting objective, having a vision of what you want to do and how you are going to do it. It's what we call planning. And planning might involve short time, medium time, and long time goals. When you plan, you now do what you call controlling. Controlling is when you monitor your performance in order to see if you are actually following the guideline that you've set. Now you want to write ATSWA. Have you planned? If the answer is yes, how do you plan? I'm still in school. I want to write exam. In the morning every day, I will be in class. Okay, my class activities is from 8 a.m. to maximum 5 p.m. What am I doing from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.? Oh, let me start using the period. to be reading and be attending classes for my ATS3. Oh, I have some assignments. Okay, let me quickly do it. I want to write ATS3. Each day, let me start reading one paper. That is your planning. Controlling is, at the end of the day, what did I achieve today? Did I really read? Did I read? Am I actually writing ATS3? Have I watched my video from ICAN online? Have I solved the assignment that the instructor gave me? That will give you answer to know whether you are actually monitoring your performance or not. And decision making is a one-off something. And it aids your activities. Decision making has to do with to do something or not to do it. And every management accounting information actually is being provided to assist you, to assist me, to assist manager, to decide what to do in any situation where decision is needed. Let's quickly look at some of the cost terms I'm meaning. I hope we are together and I hope we are actually following. Yeah, I would have liked to actually chip in some questions to see if you actually understand what we have done so far or not. But because of the time frame, let us quickly look at some other terms in cost accounting so that we could speed up our study. Costing method and techniques. Some of the key items in cost accounting is costing method and techniques. They are a key tools when it comes to cost accounting. But before we actually do that, you will see that I've actually been mentioning cost. And by now we understand what a cost is. And we understand what a cost unit is. What is costing method? Costing method and costing techniques are never the same. Always remember that. Costing method and costing techniques are never the same. Costing method or cost method, that one is a method. By method means a way of doing things. Techniques means the tools that we use in doing it. Understand the difference? Method means a way of doing things. Technique means the tools you use in doing things. So the method of costing actually refers to the processes or the techniques that we use in ascertaining cost. What is your method of costing? Just as we asked you that, what is your method of accounting? The same thing, we have used the method of cost. Do you get that? What is the method of cost? Are you using a batch costing? Are you using a job costing? Or you are using a process costing? Are you using a service costing? Or you are using what we call a contract costing? That is what we called costing methods. But for costing techniques, like I said earlier, that one is the tools you use in costing. So we call it the tools we use in controlling cost and making important decisions, such as what? Marginal costing, absorption costing, standard costing, ABC. That is the 4 prominent costing techniques that we have. And 2 is the major one, which we call marginal costing and absorption costing. That will give you a clue to the difference between costing method and cost techniques. Let's quickly check them one after the other. The first one is a costing method. Like I said, when we say costing method is a way by which we evaluate the cost of an item. And what we usually do here is what we call product costing method, because everything about cost accounting is attributable to the cost of producing a product. So there are actually 5 ways that we apply the costing methods, and we can also categorize them into 2 categories: operation and specific order. But I can not ask you that. That is why I've actually put everything under one. The first one is job costing. When we say job costing is when jobs are being produced according to the customer order, no more, no less. You can expatiate that. When you produce job according to customer order, we call it what? Job costing. For example, if you want to eat, you request for food, and we give you the food, and not that we just serve you any food. If you are going to school, let's say you are in 200 level. If you are in 200 level, we will be giving you 200 level courses. We cannot be giving you 500 level course. No. Then you require for 200 level courses. You have served 200 level courses. This occurs when customer need an item and they request for it, and you produce it. We call it job costing. You will say the job has been the cost has been undertaken, or the product has been produced according to the customer's requirements. That's why I said it's according to the what? Customer order. When customer order, that is when you produce. If they did not order, you did not produce. If you check some printing press, you see that customer do order before they do. If you go to motor workshop, you request before you do. Banking service, aside from cutting your costs, if you did not request, they will not give it to you. If you don't request for ATM card, they will not produce. Not auto renewal. ICAN online, if you did not request for ATSWA, we will not serve you. That is, we are matching your order. That is why we call job costing according to customers' request. Another one is batch costing. This one, customer request, customer did not request. We are just producing our product in batches. When we say in batches, we are producing them according to the small numbers of quantity. When you are producing a numbers of small order, we call it you are producing in batches. If you live in Lagos, in each junctions now, you will see those people that are selling buns and puff-puff. If you see them, they first of all do donuts. They can do donuts. Donuts will be much. They will do it on tray. When they see that they produce enough bonus, they will now do puff-puff. They will do samosa. They are doing those one in batches. You did not request. Those one are doing in batches. Let us do small samosa. They will do small samosa. When they see that samosa is enough, they will do small puff-puff. They will do small buns. They will do small egg rolls. They are producing them in quantity. That's why we call them batches. Another one is what we call contract costing. Contract costing has to do with long duration. That is a long time. And that one is mostly those that engage in construction activities are the ones that use contract costing. When you give a contract to a constructor to construct a building, construct a road, construct borehole, construct gutter, construct road like that, we call it contract costing. Some other one that I said they are parts of operation is what we call process costing. And process costing has to do with standardized costing. That include producing a product based on what predetermined cost. When you just produce a product based on predetermined cost, because we want it to be a continued process. At times we call it output produce. When you are just producing an item, for example, food production, all those food items is called process costing. No matter where you go, you will see food items that garri produced, rice produced, oil, groundnut oil, palm oil, they are produced in large quantity. We call that process costing. Another one is what we call service costing, and that's what I call output costing here. That is when you are producing item often and often. That is what we call service costing, or you call it output costing. So that one, we actually measured it based on standard units, and we charge cost on them based on the activities and the average units that has been produced. I will not go to the costing techniques yet, because the costing techniques, we are going to use it under, I'm going to discuss costing techniques where it matters, and we use it for calculation directly. But before that, let me tell us that we have cost allocation and cost apportionment. When we say cost allocation involves allotment of an items to each cost center or cost unit. That is, when you put a cost under the unit that is supposed to be, is what we call cost allocation. Now English, it is English. Cost apportionment is when you share costs according to different cost center, as if you are distributing money among 2-3 people. That's what we call cost apportionment. It comes in form of, you have 500 naira cost, and I said share it between 2 departments according to ratio 1:3. You just say, let me say department A, department B. You first of all say 1 + 3, 4. 4 is the total. A will get 1/4 or 50 naira. And B will get 3/4 or 50 naira. That is what we call cost apportionment. If me and you, we are to share 50 naira according to the ratio of our age. You get that? That is what we call cost apportionment. Okay. And for cost classification, that is when we classify costs according to the characteristic, or according to the element, or according to the nature. I'm summarizing everything because they are what you will still get alongside when we are discussing other elements under the cost accounting. Along the line, you will get it. So basically, we classify cost into 3 different classes or categories, according to the element, according to the nature, and according to behavior. When we say according to elements is when you classify costs according to 3 elements: material, labor, expenses. That's how you always say direct material, direct labor, and overheads. What is direct material? Or let me say, what is material cost? If you look at the old productions, and we say cost accounting is attributable to productions. If you look at the old productions, what are you doing? You acquire material that you use to produce. That is material cost. The material you are acquiring can be direct, it can be indirect. Labor that are going to work in the production of the material which you have bought, you will spend on them. We call it labor costs. And the other one is what we call overheads, or let's call it expenses, which is other costs that you incur in the process of manufacturing and that of your labor. Is that taken? Having said that, that is material, that is according to element, material, labor, overheads, or you tell me material, labor, expenses. Material or material cost can actually involve the cost of raw materials, the cost of buying the raw materials. It can be the cost of acquiring parts of the components of the raw material. It can be the cost you incur on work in progress. It can be the cost you incur in repackaging or packaging. It can be the cost you incur in buying lubricants or oil in producing the product. It can be the cost of consumable tools. It can be the cost of cleaning the material. It can even be the cost of stationery. Stationery, not the stationery of office. This is stationery. Stationery means tools. There's a difference between stationery and stationery. Stationery are office tools. Stationery are fixed assets, something that is standing, that is immovable in your factory, is stationery. Labor cost is the cost of employee, how much you are paying to the labor, how much that me and you are receiving as salary, how much that each laborer are earning. Those people that are working day to day, what they are seeing at the end of the day is called labor cost. Expenses is the other cost you incur during the manufacturing process or post-production. It can be hiring some other equipment if the equipment we have is insufficient, and the likes. Direct material, also, like we said, material have direct and indirect. Labor have direct and indirect. Expenses also have direct and indirect. All these items of, all these elements, items have both direct and indirect, and we shall be examining that during the course of our class, especially when we get to behavioral and coding. Okay, my dear professionals, I will want us to quickly go through all what we have discussed so far so that we can continue from here in our next meeting. For the purpose of the class, today we started with introduction to cost accounting. And before the introduction to the cost accounting, we first defined what a cost is, where we said that a cost is actually the amount or the total resources that are exchanging for goods or services. And SEMA define it as the total amount of expenditure that is incurred, actual or notional, that is actually used for an items or activities. From there, we define accounting as the process of recording, summarizing, analyzing, interpreting, and the rest. And we combine the cost and the accounting together, in which the cost accounting actually gives us the process of identifying, measuring, communicating economic information for informed judgment and decision making of an organization. And we also say SEMA define cost accounting as the establishment of budget, actual or notional. Actual or notional, in order to determine, in order to make informed decision making. Having said that, we look at the aims and objectives of cost accounting. And we also look at the three key importance of cost accounting, which is planning, controlling, and decision making. We also look at the relevance of information, in which we said everything must be accurate, using ACCU, RATE, accurate as an acronyms. After that, we compare cost accounting and management accounting, where we said cost accounting and management accounting are the same, but cost accounting and financial accounting are not the same in terms of the uses, in terms of the information, in terms of the legal requirement, in terms of the time, in terms of the in terms of the period, and in terms of the nature. After that, we look at the cost classification, we look at the cost terms, and we are also able to discuss the costing method and the costing techniques, in which we said the costing method is a way by which we apply the costing techniques in the course. And so costing techniques are the tools that we use in the cost accounting process, which involve marginal costing, absorption costing, standard costing, and ABC. And so the costing method actually have 5 items, which includes job costing, batch costing, contract costing, process costing, and service costing, or otherwise called output costing. And we also discuss cost allocation, which is said it is when an item is being allotted under each cost center or cost unit. And we say cost apportionment is when you divide a cost according to each cost unit or to each department. And we also discuss the elements of cost classification, which we said they are into 3: material, labor, and expenses, or we call it material, labor, and overhead. And we said each of these elements have both direct and indirect. At this time, I would like to continue from here. Time for question. Let us ask question. Any question? All right, we shall continue from here in our next class. Please do well to chat. Please do well to drop your question. We watch the video and ask question where necessary. Assignment, review question, and text the understanding question shall be given before the next class. Thank you. I wish you a good understanding and retentive memory. Thank you and have a nice day.